So I just heard the robotic voice. This meeting is being recorded, so I feel the compassionate and human technology embracing us for this next episode of Comparing Notes with James Warda, that's me, and John Pogachar, that's him.
That's me.
Hi, John.
Hi, James. How you doing?
Good. Now, at our first episode, if you go back to the introduction, you'll see John had some issues. I'm going to wait till he finishes drinking. He had some issues drinking last time. So we're going to see how he does with this cup.
So good.
So John, one of our mentors is Kyle Cease, as we talk about, and one of the things that I've learned from him, and I think you have, is just that when he goes out and does his presentations, that, you okay, John? Okay.
I just needed more air in my car. I had to open the window, sorry. Your body says, I can't breathe. You go, pay attention to your body.
You couldn't put off breathing until we were done, John? Oh my God.
I didn't know how long-winded you were going to be today. So
I prefer comprehensive.
Comprehensive. Well,
one of the things that I learned from Kyle was he just goes out and he just presents. He doesn't prepare.
Yeah.
And I know you. What?
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, and that's kind of scary for me because I've always prepared. I teach and everything, and I've always got all my PowerPoint decks and everything. And
it's because you're comprehensive.
What?
Because you're comprehensive.
That's what it is. And I didn't want to do this recording today because I'm going through some stuff, and I really didn't want to do this today. And so I think we should do it today. And I want to ask you about some things that I'm going through. I assume others have gone through it or will go through it or are going through it. I'm not going to share names and stuff like that, but I just want to talk with you about a few things. So thanks for being a space for me today to do that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
As you kind of know, I'm going just a lot of changes in my own life, a lot of things kind of dropping off and away, and connections, and feeling it's triggering a lot of stuff. And I think it's triggering some really deep stuff from being a child, and very, very painful stuff. In fact, as I'm saying this, I'm feeling it in my body. And you said, when I told you, you said, everything is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, as someone going through all that, when someone tells you everything is perfect, it just doesn't sit well. So please tell me what you meant by that.
I think everything is perfect in this world. And the reason I said that is because things are happening for you. The universe is always happening for you. It's never happening. We don't live in a malicious universe. We live in something that is trying to help you come forward in something. And so when I said everything's perfect, you've got some feelings coming up, brother, and they're trying to tell you something. They're trying to point you in a direction. You could go and just be all pissed off about what's going on, and you could just be in resistance and a fight with it and just be dragging your heels. Or you could say, what is trying to come out of this? What's trying to emerge out of this? What am I trying to learn? What are these feelings? What are these tears pointing me towards? Because the universe is always for us. It's not against, not to give us a kick in the face. Sometimes it may feel that way, but it is for you. It's trying to tell you something. When we don't learn a lesson, it comes around and hits you in the face again, Just pay attention. It's saying, pay attention to what I'm doing. This is why you're feeling this way. And so when something triggers us, as at our age now, it's like, we've seen this before.
Yeah.
We've seen this before, and that's why it's triggered. It's so, okay, so like, let's go deep. You talked about, it's something deep from my childhood, and that's where it's buried at. Somewhere, how you're feeling right now is how you felt like when you're a kid, and probably throughout your whole life. This is where I felt like when I'm 50 years old and 40 years old and 30 years old and 20 and 5 years old, something happened back there that is causing this issue. So I invite you just to feel into that. And that's why I said that everything's perfect, because it's trying to tell you there's something you haven't been feeling.
Here's the thing. I feel it, like as we're talking, I feel it in my body.
Yeah.
I feel it in my arms, in my back, in my throat. It's kind of closed up, jaws clenched.
So what are you feeling? I mean, those are some of the, reactions to your body, but what are you?
Grief.
Okay. And can that be okay in your body?
Can it be okay?
Yeah.
The problem, I don't know what to do with it. It's like I want to do something with it,
I know, but that's the ego going, I want to do something with this. I want to fix it. But can it just be okay to be in your body? Can you say, it's okay to have grief in my body?
I can say that logically, but I don't believe it. It's okay for there to be grief in my body.
Because you are, like God, you have to hold the space for every feeling that you have. Love, hate, joy, anger, sadness, all this stuff, grief. You are a space for all of that. And so when those feelings come up, there's no resistance to it. Nobody's left out. That little boy is not left out. He's right there, and you're a space for him. I'm feeling grief. I'm feeling I'm not seen. I'm feeling sadness. I'm always doing everything what everybody else wants to do. Nobody sees me. Nobody is seeing me. You have to see him and be with him.
You know what? Seeing him breaks my heart.
Okay. Sit with him.
He's so alone, I want to help him.
Is it okay for him to be alone?
No, he's a little kid. He should have somebody there with him,
Okay. Can you be that dad for him? Can you be that dad for him that just says, I'm not going to try to fix you or anything. I'm just going to sit here with you. I'm just going to be here with you. You can show up pissed off, angry, mad, whatever. I'm just going to be here with you.
So here's the thing. I want to do that, but how do you do that when, as the adult, I'm also feeling that stuff? You know what I mean? It's like I want to be here for you, but I don't have anyone here for me like that. Like I went, well, then again, you're doing it right now for me,
Yeah.
It's like I want to be that dad.
Is that what you would tell that little kid?
What?
I want to be here for you, but I don't know how to be here for myself.
No. That would just be like, it's like my own kids, right? You just do it because you love them.
Yeah.
it feels like the grief is so big. It's like I can't feel it. You know what I mean? It's like I feel it, but I can't quite feel it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think, we've, I think we have gotten used to feeling grief, and it almost becomes like a natural thing for us to be in, a natural funk for us to be in. And some of these other things. And then we just don't get used to the excitement, the love, the joy, the like, wow, these things can be happening all the time because we're so numbed with some of the negative stuff that we've gone through, and the negative stuff that almost feels like home, as we've been in it for so long.
That just that resonated right there. Have you gone through something like this? Have you experienced something like this that I'm describing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not being seen, not being heard. And then, I mean, I went through something like this when I can remember buying a car with my ex-wife, and there was a car I wanted, and then she was saying, well, we've got a little girl, and we need the car seat and stuff, and so it was like, okay, fine, we'll go get a family car, but that's not something I wanted. But I just, it's like, I just kind of felt really deflated, and it's like, but I want this, and nobody was listening to me, nobody was hearing what I had to say. And it was just like, okay, I'll do this, I'll compromise, or even I went overboard, I felt like, and just said, okay, fine, to keep everybody quiet and happy, I'll do it this way. So I ended up getting this car, this family car, which I ended up, and we ended up getting divorced, and so I ended up getting stuck with this car, which I didn't want to be with anyway. And then throughout the time, it just like, it went downhill. That car went I couldn't, it was a mess. Anyway, by the time finally that car just ended up blowing black smoke out of its tailpipes, and I left it where it was, and I called a tow truck. I said, come and get this thing, I don't want it. And so they just took it away for $100. So I said, Asta, we parted.
Well, and I think so. What you just described, it's like part of what's bringing this grief on is feeling like out of control of a lot of my life. It's like you have a vision for your life, and then it becomes then it goes a certain way, and I have to give up some of that vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also forcing me into some dark places where those things I felt as a kid of not belonging and being disconnected from family and all that, that stuff is coming up too. This feels like a dark night of the soul,
Yeah.
It's painful as hell. Really
yeah.
painful.
Yeah. I can imagine, because I know what you're going through right now, and it's like, and you're dragging your feet on it, and it's like, I don't want to do this. I do not want to do this, and I also don't want to have to contact people about it and let people know.
Yeah, because then it becomes real. When I say it, then it becomes real, and yeah, I think I think that the thing that I thought would be helpful, this is helpful for me, but just maybe helpful for people who are watching, is, usually I'm able to I can tap into feelings, and being on this journey of transformation, it's like, yeah, I've cried at other times, etc. But this one, it's like, it's there, and it's so big, and it's so part of who I am. It's almost like I can't figure out how to get in there and like dislodge it. And, it's like almost, it's my bones and my tendons and everything. I can't, how do you take that and separate it, you know? And then I'm in my head trying to figure out how to do all these things and not feeling it. So
Can you make yourself a space big enough to hold all of that?
how do I do that?
You could meditate on it and just sit with it and just go, I'm going to be a space like God, big enough to hold all this stuff. You know, he holds the whole world in his space. Can you hold everything that you're going through in your space and just be, it's okay to have this grief in my body, and allow it. Okay, this is the little kid that's just so upset and so sad. Nobody has seen him through, you know, since he's just been just a tiny little boy. Can you be with that grief? Can you feel it? You know, and let it happen. Just let the, you know, if something's going to come up, let it come up.
I can do that. I just hear that voice right away say, yeah, I can do that, but for how long and when is it going to be done?
For as long as it fucking takes. You wouldn't tell that to a little boy. When are you going to finally get over this? No. This is, like I said, this is, everything's perfect. It's pointing you towards to finally deal with these feelings and letting these things come out. Otherwise, you're going to go through more stuff over and over and over again. It's going to hit you on this thing. It's going to hit you on that. And you get to a point, it's just like, crap, whatever. And you're just going to be this guy that just, whatever you want, do. I don't care. I just don't even want to have to deal with it. I think when we stop feeling our feelings, that when we get to that point where it's like, nope, fine. You know, you become that people pleaser that doesn't want to upset the apple cart. I don't want to do anything wrong. Whatever. I'm just here. I'm just walking through life, not feeling anything. I'm walking through life numb, you know. And I just don't feel anything.
Thank you, John.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody
and
just,
you know, this ego that wants to fix everything and do everything, you don't need to fix anything. You don't know anything. Just be with it. God will take care of all of this. It's your job just to feel it, just to be with it. You know, be with James when he was the 5-year-old, when he was the 10-year-old, when he was the 15-year-old, when he was, you know, a 20-year-old. They just want to be seen. See them. You see them. Because you don't have anybody to see them for you. You have to be that one. You're the one who has to stand up for that little kid, for that young man, for that older man. You do.
yeah, I think I showed the world a map, you know, a certain me.
Sure.
That wasn't how I was really feeling inside.
Yeah.
You know? That gets really tiring.
I know. I know. So why hold up a structure that's trying to crumble and just let it go so you can be who you are? So your soul can live and do what it wants to do.
Well, Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, James.
Bye.
Man.